The wind swept fiercely across the cracked highways of northern Nevada as Evelyn Moore guided her battered RV through the endless stretch of desert, her eyes dry, bloodshot, and unblinking, fixed on the horizon like a woman chasing a ghost. It had been 278 days since the floodwaters swallowed the town of Prescott, Arizona. 278 days since her 9-year-old daughter, Gracie, vanished into the roaring chaos of that night. The storm was called the 100-Year Rain, and by dawn, homes were gutted, roads dissolved, and lives lost, including, they said, her daughter's. But Evelyn had never believed it. Not for a second. She remembered too clearly the scream Gracie made, not of drowning, but of terror, as if someone had pulled her away. That scream had echoed in Evelyn's bones ever since. She quit her job as a paramedic the day after the funeral, sold her house 2 weeks later, and bought an old RV from a Craigslist ad in Reno. Inside, she built her own war room. Maps, red string, newspaper clippings, blurry CCTV captures, and a folder marked "Girls Gone." Because Gracie wasn't the only one. In the past 4 years, Evelyn discovered, dozens of girls aged 8 to 12 had disappeared during natural disasters, floods, fires, hurricanes, from small towns just like Prescott. Local authorities chalked it up to tragedy, accidents, bodies never found, but Evelyn saw the pattern. Someone was using chaos as cover, and that belief, fueled by grief, mother's instinct, and sheer rage, kept her alive. Then came the name, Jack Callahan, former FBI profiler turned recluse after his own daughter, Annie, vanished in a California wildfire 5 years ago. He lived in a shack near Mono Lake, feeding off the grid rumors and guilt. Evelyn found him, reluctantly dragging him back into the world with a single photograph, a still frame from a truck stop camera showing a man leading a girl with Gracie's hair behind a building 2 days after the flood. Jack saw it too. They joined forces. Evelyn, fierce and obsessed. Jack, analytical and damaged, tracking breadcrumbs that led them across 3 states, through abandoned barns in Utah, shady motel registries in New Mexico, and finally to a rumor out of Mesquite, Nevada. A girl matching Gracie's description seen wandering near a truck convoy late at night. Then came the break. A name whispered at a roadside diner by a waitress with shaking hands. They call him Shepherd, the one who collects. They traced him to an isolated desert compound, disguised as a rehabilitation center for displaced youth, guarded by private security, and buried in red tape. Evelyn knew the police would never act fast enough, so she and Jack infiltrated it themselves. With a drone, stolen credentials, and night vision goggles, they breached the facility and found the truth worse than they imagined. Underground cells, dozens of missing girls, heavily sedated, branded with numbers instead of names. But there, in one of the last rooms, was Gracie, curled up, clutching the same stuffed dog Evelyn had sewn from an old t-shirt. The reunion wasn't soft, it was feral, full of tears, screams, and 1,000 apologies. They got her out with sirens chasing their tail, Jack taking a bullet to the shoulder while covering their escape. The story exploded on national news. Evelyn Moore, the mother who refused to grieve, had uncovered a trafficking ring exploiting America's disasters, and the nation watched in horror as the FBI raided what had been called Hope Springs Youth Home. Jack recovered, and Gracie, after months of therapy, began to laugh again, high, free, like wind chimes in spring. They moved to Flagstaff, bought a small house with wide windows and a fenced garden, and built a new life. Evelyn never went back to medicine but volunteered at shelters, teaching self-defense to runaway girls. Jack visited often, more than a friend but less than a replacement, and Gracie sometimes called him Uncle. On the anniversary of the flood, Evelyn stood in the backyard, watching rain slide down the glass. Gracie danced barefoot in the puddles, hair tangled and face glowing, no longer a ghost, but a miracle. And as thunder rolled in the distance, Evelyn whispered a promise to the sky. Never again. Not her daughter. Not anyone's.